Welcome to The Know, I'm Mica Burton. After weeks of complaints about matchmaking, microtransactions, and experience, For Honor fans have finally had enough, and the game's official subreddit is now organizing a boycott. Users have converged around one thread in particular, scheduling a blackout of the game for April 3rd for a full 24 hours. The thread is now closing in on 11,000 upvotes, so it's not exactly a small group of fans talking about this either. The thread calls for Ubisoft to give more regular updates about the game's future plans, changes to matchmaking, and changes to how steal functions in the game. Recently, the player base got a bit upset when they discovered it would take over $700 or 2.5 years to get enough steal for all of the game's unlocks. For Ubisoft part, they may have given something of an unofficial response to the thread. This morning they tweeted that they'll be doing maintenance today to fix some issues surrounding steal income, so hopefully Ubisoft is listening. The hot-selling Nintendo Switch has hit a new milestone. Analyst Media Create reports the new console has already broken the 500,000 mark in Japan. According to their numbers, the Switch has sold approximately 519,504 units total in just 4 weeks, which actually puts it ahead of the PlayStation 4's first 4 weeks of sale. That's pretty remarkable when you consider just what the PS4 has gone on to do worldwide. However, there's one console that also did better than the PS4 and the current Switch, the Wii U? That console hit more than 550,000 units by its 3rd week, so maybe it's a little early for the victory laps for the Switch, but still, it's an impressive start. If you are all excited to use the PS4 streaming app to share your playthrough of Persona 5 next week, well, you better temper that enthusiasm. Word broke through several of the game's very glowing reviews yesterday that Atlus has disabled all sharing features for the game, which would include screenshots and even streaming. When reached out for comment about this decision by Polygon, Atlus wrote, "This being a Japanese title with solely a single playthrough story means Japan is very wary about it. Sharing is currently blocked through the native PS4 UI. While it's understandable that the game would be blocked since it's a single player and story focused, it won't stop people from streaming it through other means, like capture cards. And come on, Atlus, people want to see that awesome game you made." Sticking with the JRPG front, another recent release has been met with major success on PC, Nier Automata. A user on NeoGAF tracked the game's stats through Steam Spy, finding that Nier sold 200,000 copies in the first 2 weeks on the platform, which makes it one of the fastest selling Square-Enix titles on PC. Considering that's a niche title, plus all the problems with the game's PC version has so far, that's an impressive number. And hopefully that inspires Square-Enix and Platinum Games to give it a little more support than it's gotten so far. You know, so gamers aren't fixing the games by themselves with mods. Well, we won't have to wait until E3 to finally see what DICE and EA are cooking up for Star Wars Battlefront 2. The companies announced that the next game in the Star Wars shooter series will be making its debut at next month's Star Wars celebration. Battlefront 2 will get unveiled during a special panel appropriately titled The Galaxy-Wide Premiere of Star Wars Battlefront 2 on Saturday, April 15th. Don't worry, if you're not attending Star Wars Celebration, the panel will be streamed online, so we'll all get treated to the Battlefront 2 trailer at the same time. That same weekend will probably also mark the first proper trailer for The Last Jedi, which means we're just 2 weeks away from 2 Star Wars trailers. That's 2 Star Wars trailers. But attendees of Star Wars Celebration won't be the first fans to see anything from Episode 8, because fans at CinemaCon 2017 got to see some footage of The Last Jedi before anyone else. The clip from the new movie was apparently super short, but through attendees' tweets we have some secondhand info of what they saw. Games Radar compiled some of the first impressions. Apparently the footage included Rey igniting a lightsaber and spinning it around and also moving some rocks, so maybe she's going into full Jedi training mode. What a tease! But no word on when we might get a full trailer, but the movie opens later this year on December 15th, so we're all crossing our fingers for some more news soon. Could the upcoming Justice League movie be 3 hours long? I guess it makes sense that the long-awaited team-up movie wasn't going to be short necessarily, but holy shit, 3 hours? Is there going to be an extended romantic side plot between Aquaman and a manatee? You know, I'd pay to see that. But actually, we're not quite sure yet. But IMDb currently lists Justice League's runtime as 170 minutes, which is 2 hours and 50 minutes long. That's a good 20 minutes longer than the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, which was more than 2.5 hours. But then a story from The Wrap kind of squashed that report, saying that Justice League isn't done yet and the filmmakers don't know what the exact runtime will be. They've still got time. The movie isn't due in theaters until November, and who knows, maybe we'll be treated to 5 hours of Justice League. Speaking of the DC universe, Joss Whedon is apparently close to writing and directing the first ever Batgirl movie? Who knew? We thought Whedon might have been done with big-budget superhero movies after Avengers Age of Ultron, but Variety reports that he's close to signing a deal with Warner Brothers to do the Batgirl movie. That's somewhat of a coup for DC, considering how much Marvel work that Whedon has done, and it would also immediately put some heat behind a movie starring the daughter of Gotham City Police Commissioner James Gordon. The movie would also feature other characters from the world of Gotham, according to Variety, so you have our interest, DC. Jordan Peele, who made a splash with his debut film, the comedy horror Get Out, could be in line to direct the live-action remake of Akira. The tracking board reported that Warner Brothers has held encouraging talks with Peele about heading up the project. Apparently they were super impressed with the success of Get Out, and I mean who wasn't, which led to the conversation about the long-awaited Akira. We should stress that though this is still a rumor and that there have been plans for live-action Akira for more than a decade now, so take this with a grain of salt. But Jordan Peele would be an interesting choice, especially considering how well Get Out was received. If there was one big complaint that gamers have had about Twitch, it's the quality of the video. But don't worry, improvements are coming. Twitch says that it will soon be rolling out 1080p and 60 FPS video support, and its 3.5 megabit bitrate limit will also be increased. That's just a fancy way of saying that image quality is about to go up. Yay! Streamers can find out if their channels have been upgraded by heading into Twitch Inspector and looking for transcode V2 indicator. But all channels should be upgraded in the coming weeks, Twitch said. But the company stressed, remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Just because you can stream at 1080p and higher bitrates doesn't necessarily mean you should. It's better to have a stable stream at lower resolution or bitrate than a higher quality stream that makes you drop frames. That about does it for today's news, so let us know what you think of any of these stories down in the comments, and as always, for more news from every corner of the internet, remember to like this video and subscribe to The Know. I was gesturing a lot with my hands today.
The Macarena? There you go.
Macarena. Hey. The Switch has sold approximately 519,504 units. I hate numbers.